Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and today I have a little something different. Because if you're anything like me, you play Skyrim, and also if you're anything like me, you like to mod Skyrim, and probably not just a little. Once you open that can, you just have to take the last Pringle. And every time Skyrim gets an update, the modding community turns on its ears. So a big percentage of the modders quit because they don't want to have to keep staying on top of the updates. So a whole bunch of mods that used to work no longer will. And also, even if the modding community does want to stay on top of things, there's usually a large lapse between an update and when the new version comes out. And you also have to make sure all of your settings are right, and it is a nightmare every time there's an update. And they've done it again. Thank you, Todd. We have a new update. It went from 640 to 1130, I think it was. And I have been accumulating a few hundred mods over the past several weeks toward an objective of getting a series started revolving around the use of those mods. And I just wanted to say, first off, I have every intention of continuing to do it. Secondly, it looks like I can continue to do it. And lastly, the reason why I can continue to do it is I've found out how to not only revert back to 640, but also I have figured out how to keep Steam, because if you're like me, you also play it on because of Steam, to prevent Steam from automatically updating Skyrim. As long as you don't have the automatic updates, you shouldn't have to worry about getting the newer versions. And with the availability of the downloads for the other versions and all that kind of stuff, you can just have the previous versions at your disposal. So what I'm going to do today is sort of break down the different stages of what you need to do in order to get the old version back to prevent the the Steam specifically. I don't know about any other interfaces, but to prevent Steam from automatically updating. And also, I will be, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. If it weren't for the developer for this mod called the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition Downgrade Patcher, which I will leave a link in the description for that. If it weren't for that mod developer, halgari, Halgari, on the Nexus mods webpage, if it weren't for them, I would be lost. And they deserve every kudos that they can get, every endorsement they can get, and every download that they can muster, because they are doing God's work here. So I'm going to first break down how to prevent Steam from automatically updating, and then I will show you the longer task of how to download and install all of the components that you need to go back to 640. I don't have the information on hand for older versions than that, but this one is the most recent, therefore the most relevant, and I just wanted to get this video up so that people would have this resource to be able to solve the problem. So give me a second here and I'll set things up for the next part. Alright, the first thing you're going to need to do is set the Steam file to not automatically update Skyrim. And the way this is accomplished is by making it so that a certain tracker inside the Steam the file system cannot be changed. And the way to do this is to make it a read-only file. And if you don't understand what that means, that's okay. It just simply means software cannot change the information in the file. It can't be resaved differently. And this prevents Steam from updating that file, which makes it not update the game associated with the file. So let's go over to where that information is. And if you have everything set to default, then it's going to be on your C drive. And I am in the Windows Explorer interface. Hold down the Windows key and then hit E, and that brings this up if you don't know. If you do not use default settings, then the files will be where you have these installed. I'm demonstrating the default settings. Anyway, on the C drive, under the Program Files x86 folder, you will have some number of installed software, including Steam, right there. And in Steam, there will be a Steam Apps, right there. And somewhere amongst all of these, and thankfully, this is a new computer, so I only have a few dozen games installed. Could be a lot worse. But somewhere in here, you will find a file called appmanifest underscore 489830.acf. I will type that out in the description so that you can look for it more easily. But what you need to do is navigate to this file. You right click on it, and then you click on Properties. Once you click on Properties on 489830, you will have pretty much this that you're looking at. And down here on the bottom, it'll say Attributes, Read Only, and Hidden, and then Advanced. If you put a check mark in that Read Only box, it makes it so Steam will never change this file again. Go ahead and click Apply and OK, and that's it. You're done. Half of the problem is solved. That's half the problem, not half of the solution, unfortunately. The other half of the solution is a lot more complicated. There's more steps going on. But while we're here, let's go ahead and prepare for what's coming next. Let's come back one folder from the Steam apps, and let's go to Steam. In here are going to be numerous files. It may be different for different people based on what games you have. I don't know what all that entails, but what you're going to want is this Steam exe, the Steam executable. And if you don't have the .exe on here, don't worry. As long as it's the Steam, just the word Steam, with this icon here, this is the file that you want. You will hold right click on the file, drag it somewhere off into the empty space, and click on Create Shortcut here. And you will get a nice little shortcut file. Then, whoops, you will come down to Properties, which is off screen for me. I apologize. But somewhere in that menu near the bottom or at the bottom is going to be the Properties. And here in the field that says Target, you will want to add at the end a space, dash, hyphen, minus sign, whatever you want to call it, and then the word console, CONSOLE, and apply. Now what this does is it makes it so that when you launch Skyrim, when you launch Steam, you get an extra tab at the top of your Steam interface. So let's go over and see what that looks like. Give me just a second. Before I move on to the next part, I just wanted to uh, do this little interlude here to say that I have a lot of stuff going on my channel, and a lot of it would not be available to me to provide for you guys if it weren't for the support that I get from people who support me on places like Patreon or Streamlabs or other places. So I just wanted to say thank you to my Patreon supporters, Elmaze 11, Zogma Infinium, Sean, Robert Kemp, Little Cuddles, and XBlaze Ninja Zero, who are presently helping to support me. If you would like to say thanks in a financial way, you can support me on Patreon. Link is down below, and I have a number of different tiers I'm still working on the perks for, but I have the tiers in place. Or if you'd like to do just a one-time thing, I also have a link to my Streamlabs, so you can do a donation there. And if you manage to do a donation during the middle of one of my streams, you get a little fanfare, something like that. But also, if you like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. And even it says it sparkles down there when I say apparently, like this video. And also, do please subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. Tons of projects, lots of Minecraft, lots of Skyrim, and yeah, that's basically it. Let's get on with it. Alright, now we're here in Steam, and you'll notice probably that there is a slight difference between your normal Steam and mine. And that is you'll have store, library, community, your user profile, and now if you have run from that new shortcut that we just made, it will say console here. You can also start the console by coming down here, right-clicking on Steam from this little pop-up window, and clicking on console here. Either way works, but sometimes it is better to just launch in console if you're going to be doing bunches of things. So that's the alternative option. Anyway, once we have console up on this tab list and you click on it, you'll see that it's a largely blank page with a little field down here for entering some text. What you are going to be doing is downloading 3 files. One file is going to be about 4.5 gigabytes, one's about 7.5 gigabytes, and one's teeny tiny. I will show you the teeny tiny one first, and I will not be making you suffer through watching the download of the larger files, but I just want you to see the process here. I will type out all the information that you need for these and put that in the description as well. But this is one of the 3 downloads that you need in order to make everything work properly for the 640 version of Skyrim. So this one, I will hit enter here, and you'll get some little text up here. It will download a tiny little file, and download complete. And it'll even tell you where that information is. And that's important because we need to go back there anyway. Now, if you are finding that you are having a hard time getting the files to download, because I was, what you will want to do is come to the settings up here under Steam, very top left, and then under the settings in the download area, you can limit your download speed, enter a number there, but more often than not, just changing your location that you're downloading from will pretty much fix things. So let's see here, what's another one in this time zone? There we go. And then it'll ask you to restart, and you can restart and all that. But that is how to change the settings for that. But let's go ahead and see what you have to do with these files. Okay, back over here in the File Explorer, We are still in the program files x86 and Steam apps folder. The files, if you were paying attention, are coming over to the content. You will find this new folder here, and largely this folder that we're in presently will be empty because typically once Steam downloads something, it puts it where it belongs. But because you have disabled the read-only and you are manually downloading this, it doesn't even really know that this is there. So you're going to have to do some file manipulation manually, and I'll show you how to do this. But typically, once you've done all three of the downloads, you will have three folders, and this process will be done in each of the three folders. What you need to do is go into the folder, and then go into the depot, and then you will select, in this case there's just one, but you will select everything in here and copy it. I did Control C, or you can right click and copy, whatever. Then you come back to the Steam apps folder, and for some reason, let's see here. There we go. You come back over to the Steam apps folder here. We were just in this depot. You go back a folder, back to the content, back to the Steam apps, and now we go into common, new spot here, and we look for Skyrim Special Edition, which is right here. Now, in this folder, there's probably going to be a different experience for you. I have hundreds of mods, and so there's lots of stuff in everything involved with my Skyrim that's going to be different from most people who are used to playing with less stuff. But in here are going to be the meat and potatoes of your Skyrim game. Now that we're here, what you need to do is, since you have just recently copied everything from that other folder, you need to now paste everything that you have just copied. And it's going to have a complaint. It's going to say it already has files named this. What you need to do is replace the file in the destination, and it will do that. This file has now been replaced by the appropriate 640 Steam Special Edition launching program for Skyrim. And that's it. Now, in order to find all of this out, I had to do a significant amount of digging and pulling of hair and gnashing of teeth and everything. So I figured if I had that much of a heartache with doing that, then surely other people would too. So just to show you that this is working and I'm not getting any errors with Skyrim script extender or anything else like that, let's just launch Skyrim from my Mod Organizer 2 launcher. Click run, and here we go. It's launched. It's going to pop up another error message. And this is actually a kind of funny one because I'm getting dangerously close to the threshold where the game isn't going to run right, but as long as I don't cross that threshold, it's going to behave just like it always has for me. And let's go continue. Yeah, I just recently uninstalled a mod. That's normal. Excuse me, sorry. And we should be just outside of Ysgrimor's tomb. Here's Lucian. Yeah, everything works. I can open my journal, go back to a previous page. There we go. Yeah. In fact, let's edit this and get rid of Simpler Knock because I have gotten rid of Simpler Knock. And accept. And I will go ahead and save again. Sleep, and yes. This is to demonstrate that I got everything working just right. This is 640 on the same computer that had just recently automatically updated to the 1130, and the reversion complete. There is a way to use the patcher from that person who I mentioned earlier and will link to, but it doesn't always work properly. There are instances of crashes and some other instability, and so I figured let's go straight to the source and just read down the game from Steam as is and just copy the files over because that's what it does. So that's the method I wanted to show you. Here we are. It's all good and we're happy. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a like. I appreciate it, and it does help. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And you should see these little buttons lighting up on the bottom of your screen here. Subscribe. Like. I'm not doing that. YouTube is doing that. But yeah, definitely come back. I have lots and lots of content going on and planned for my channel and everything involved with it. So definitely take a look. But I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Thorn of Night, and hopefully I won't ever have to do this tutorial ever again. I will talk to you later.